तो धूप का क्या लेना देना है टुवर्ड्स द स्किन?
सनलाइट से जितना ज्यादा यूवी रेडिएशन मिलता है, it causes a lot of damage to the skin. Basically, if you categorize, there are 3 types of skin. So depending on your skin type, you have to choose your product.
Is it still common that people are running after getting fairer?
Earlier there were only creams. Now we have tablets and injection. Collagen is not dangerous as a very high dose of protein.
And what do women come from and what do men come for?
Men come mostly for hair. You are getting hair loss because of various other components like your diet, your sleep, smoking, alcohol, environmental pollution. There was a very top actor from Bollywood who used to come to me. I told him once to quit smoking. I said, you look old on screen. So he stopped coming to me. Especially people from your industry, they come for aesthetic, like, for Botox, fillers. You'll be surprised, people, those who can't afford to eat well, they can spend 50,000 to 1 lakh of rupee on this.
Some famous person, if I'm not wrong, have removed her ribs to make her waistline smaller, thinner.
It is a surgery which is done, not very commonly, but some people those are in the media, in the live, they are facing the camera.
और घर के नुस्खे बताओ ऐसा मुझे.
If you are using fresh turmeric, that's also it has anti-inflammatory, antibacterial properties. Like people apply over-ripe banana also, that hydrates the skin. Honey is a natural bleach.
What are the other treatments for skin? So we have just had a very insightful conversation with a renowned dermatologist, Dr. Kalpana Sarangi. She's been a dermat to a lot of celebrities and she has given us a lot of ghar ke nuske, a lot of insights on how do you keep your skin glowing. Please do watch it. There's a lot of knowledge for your glowing skin, for your luscious hair. You would love it and you'll get a lot of knowledge out of it. Thank you. सबसे पहले मेरा क्वेश्चन है अभी यहाँ से कि अभी इतनी धूप हो रही है, सो धूप का क्या लेना देना है टुवर्ड्स द स्किन?
See, धूप से क्या होता है? We have what is known as UV rays, ultraviolet radiation. Of course, there are various other sources of ultraviolet radiation, जैसे कि lights, cooking gas and all that, but phone, television, computer. But sunlight से जितना ज़्यादा UV radiation मिलता है, it causes a lot of damage to the skin. One is, of course, your skin gets dark, and most important, it causes premature aging. उम्र से जल्दी skin age हो जाता है. So that is why you have to protect yourself from the sun.
How do we protect ourselves?
The best way to protect yourself is to cover yourself. That is with an umbrella or some sort of clothing or a cap or a hat. That is the best. That is known as physical protection.
Okay.
So that's the best way of protection. But another very, very important, which everybody should do, is using a sunscreen. And you should use a sunscreen which is more than 30 if you're indoors, and SPF, or more than 50 if you are outdoors.
Okay.
But the catch is, we think that we apply sunscreen once, like before leaving the house, and we are done. We are good for the day. But that is not so. You have to use sunscreen to have the optimal benefit every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours.
2 hours, which is not possible. But at least every 4 hours you can try.
But then what is typically this SPF?
SPF, sun protection factor.
Okay.
Like for example, if it is 30, that means you're 30 times protected. If it is 50, you're 50 times protected, like that.
I've read somewhere that if it is SPF 30, you are protected in the sun for 30 minutes. If it is SPF 50, you are protected in the sun for 50 minutes. Is that also true? No?
No, not exactly. Because if you have used a sunscreen, you get the protection till 2 hours.
Okay.
That is if you're not swimming or if you're not washing your face. If you're sweating. Like you are sweating and then you wipe off your sunscreen. So the chemical, it's a chemical basically. And it depends what kind of chemical. There are chemicals which are skin friendly, which are being used in today's sunscreen. पहले जो sunscreen था, they were harmful. But आजकल का sunscreen जो है, they are much more friendly to us, meaning to our skin, to our body. And उसका effect रहता है for almost 2 hours.
So if someone is looking to buy a good sunscreen, तो क्या उसमें लेबल में क्या पढ़ना चाहिए उसे कि अगर ये है तो हाँ ये ले लो, या ये है तो ये तो बिल्कुल मत लो?
हाँ. So one is the chemical ingredients, which should be, mineral sunscreen is the best, is most effective in the safest for the skin, and it should be broad spectrum. That means it should cover both UVA and UVB.
Okay.
UVA जो होता है तो immediately tanning हो जाता है, whatever. UVB is something which burns your skin.
Okay.
So it should be water resistant. It should be non-comedogenic, and it should, the SPF depending 30 to 50, and it should be broad spectrum, meaning it should cover both UV and UVB.
So anything above SPF 50 is useless. Like is like just you're spending money for unnecessary additions.
No,
Or
no.
does that work?
No, above 50 is sometimes required. Like, for example, when you're going the snow, suppose you're going
Okay.
to a place where there's snowing or you're going to high altitude and all that, more than 50 is required. But because the chemical content in it is much more, so it is more harmful for the skin. So that is why below 50, 30 to 50 is safest.
Okay. And do you have any home remedies for this particular thing? Like sunscreen का कुछ है अपने पास नुस्खा कि इसकी जगह ये लगा लो चलो?
Substitute नहीं sunscreen के लिए, but there's something known as internal sunscreen, meaning you eat something which will give you protection from the sun. आजकल मिल भी रहा है oral sun protection. You get it in the form of tablets.
Does that work?
It works. It works. And there are certain type of food which can give you like they have antioxidant properties, which can give you protection from the sun. For example, carrot and any vegetables which is colored, so which has a lot of antioxidants in it.
Okay.
So they help you in the protection of you when you go out in the sun. But of course, that's not a substitute.
So now I have covered sunscreen with you. अब मैं फिर पूछूंगा कि टोनर बताओ, क्लेंजर बताओ, मॉइस्चराइजर बताओ, तो आप एक काम करो, आप पूरा स्किन केयर रूटीन ही बता दो मुझे.
Okay. For sun protection or in general?
In general, skin care routine.
In general, see, like toner and I don't use much of toner. But what I do is sunscreen. I mean,
What is toner first of all?
Toner is basically something which is जैसा हम फेस धोते हैं, धोने के बाद क्या होता है? The pH of the face wash is what? It's usually acidic.
Yes.
So the pH of the the skin mantle, it changes. It becomes more acidic.
Okay.
So उसको balance करने के लिए toner use करते हैं.
तो फेस वॉश यूज करना बंद कर दे तो that is wrong?
No, these days you get face washes which are less acidic, which are pH balanced.
Okay.
Like if you are going for a face wash, if you want your skin to be healthy or more natural, you can go for something which has pH balanced cleanser. So you don't see, but when you use a cleanser which is acidic, which normally it is supposed to be acidic because so that it cleans your skin.
Okay.
So and skin as it is has a little acid mantle.
Okay.
Which is protected from the microorganisms from outside. Okay. So when you are using the soap or the cleanser, it squeaky clean your skin.
Okay.
So that acid mantle is disturbed.
Okay.
So that is why you use a toner, so to balance it, to bring it to the pH. 5.6 is the natural pH of the skin.
And after that, we go to applying a moisturizer.
Yeah.
Which I have heard
you can use a moisturizer. And moisturizer, I can depend. See, basically, if you categorize, there are 3 types of skin.
Okay.
One is a oily skin. One is a dry or mature skin, and one is a combination skin.
Okay.
These are the three main categories, 3 main pillars. So all of us fall in between also. Not necessarily like you might have a combination skin, or you might have a dry skin, but you might get a few pimples here and there. So that's also there. So depending on your skin type, you have to choose your products.
In India, what's the most common skin type like that you have come across?
See, India is very interesting country in the sense it has variety of skin. Like you can't say that, like for example, if you go to European country, you can say that European country ka skin ka aisa hai. But India from Kashmir to Kerala, we have different skin varieties. It's very interesting. So we cannot categorize Indian skin is like this. But yes, one thing which is common to all Indian skin is a lot of melanin.
Okay.
Melanin means we are pigmented skin. Yeah. We are called skin of color, which is we are pigmented.
Okay.
And which is a bonus. I think it's a boon to have a skin like ours. Because we are protected from so many things. Melanin itself protects us from the sun. It protects. So when you're protected from the sun, we hardly see any skin cancers in Indian skin. So
but then people are trying to
become fair.
Yeah, become fair. And I guess that might affect melanin as well. Right?
It does. It does. So, but then, so it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. Like hum chahte Indians. India mein, when I started my studies, it was my, I shall say my slogan. I used to say that fair is not beautiful. People used to say beautiful meaning fair. You have to be fair to be beautiful. बहुत सुंदर, बहुत गोरी है, सुंदर है. और थोड़ा सा कलर में ये हो जाता है, then से वो काली है और सावली है. So they are not fair or they are not beautiful. This is the thing which is happening even now also it's happening. So that has been my big struggle always. Whenever I give lectures, I say, don't think that you have a good skin, a glowing skin. It's not necessary that you have to be fair to be beautiful. So you're born with certain kind of skin. Suppose you have a different skin, I have a different skin. So we have to work towards making that skin look healthy, glowing. not that you want to become fairer than your own skin.
Okay.
So that way you're going against nature. To a certain extent, it's fine. But if you go beyond that, like you must have, I would not like to name like a certain big celebrities of Hollywood, they have tried to change their skin tone and they have eventually succumbed to it. So kuch matre mein, it's fine. But don't try to push nature to do something which is unnatural.
Is it still common? Because earlier I remember there used to be fairness creams and everything. Is it still common that people are running after getting fairer?
Yeah. It's very much common. Very much common. Nowadays, though, we have, in fact, tablets, injections. Earlier, there were only creams. Now we have tablets and injections to become.
I've heard that people do use glutathione, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. What is that?
See, glutathione is not a bad thing because it has become given a bad name because it is misutilized. But glutathione, basically, it's a super antioxidant. It is produced in our liver. Our liver produces glutathione. So in small amounts, what it does, it reduces the melanin formation, meaning the pigment होता है skin को dark करने के लिए थोड़ा मात्रा में वो कम कर देता है. But then if till you are taking it, you're fine. After stopping taking it, your skin will come down to your normal complexion.
Okay.
But there are certain limited amount or quantity which you should take. When you go beyond that, then you get some reactions or side effects and things like that.
Because apparently I've seen these days कि salons तक ये glutathione और ये सारे treatments कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. Like, is
That
it
is
allowed?
not allowed. It is not allowed.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. Injudicious use. If suppose आप वही तो problem होता है. That is why the poor super antioxidant glutathione has got such a bad name. Because it has been misutilized. It has been misutilized by non-doctors in salons, and they use higher doses because if you give higher doses, you get faster results. But they don't know that if suppose skin, see, melanin pigment is there in the skin, it's there in the eye, it's there in the brain also. So आप अगर बहुत ज़्यादा use करोगे in quantity में, so that melanin will come out from there also, no?
Exactly.
If you take in very high doses. So there is a limited quantity which you should take, which is good for your health.
So it can affect the brain as well.
I'm saying theoretically.
Theoretically.
There's been there have been no reports as such
Okay.
of this, but then yes, theoretically, yes.
And there's this new prevailing supplement called collagen.
Yeah.
Now, what my concern is that people in my circle, they are very frequent to the gym. They hit their protein targets and everything. In fact, they are eating more protein than it is required. But still, they go and have their collagen collagen supplement. Is that fine? Or like,
See,
is it
collagen
dangerous?
is something, no. Collagen is not dangerous as a very high dose of protein because very high dose of protein, what it does, it damages your kidneys.
Okay.
So that is why you have to be very, very careful how much you are taking. And you should always keep a check of it because once your kidney is damaged, there's no coming back.
Okay.
And collagen is something which is required not only for your skin but also for your bones, your joints. So in permissible quantity, it's good. And then, जैसे बोलते हैं collagen खा लो, skin में एकदम glow आ जाएगा and all that. There is a certain Dalton, there's a certain molecular weight of the collagen, which is, if you take that, the only it affects, it reaches the skin. Otherwise, beyond that, if it is like it is available everywhere. In the pan shop also, you go and see there's collagen tablet or collagen powder available. So you have to be careful where you're taking it from. What is the source? Understand what it is your body. You have one body. God has given you a body. You take care of it. See, no harm wanting to look fair. No harm wanting to look good. No harm doing all the treatments. But it has to be done in the boundary of safety to your body.
But then here comes the interesting fact that people are fighting for body positivity these days, right? Accept who you are, embrace yourself. But then on a parallel note, isn't this very anti of saying that it is fine to be wanting to be a little fairer, to be wanting to be a little sharper on the jaw or something like that? So it is very contradicting.
It is contradictory, but it's a very interesting question you've asked because these days people are wanting, there has been a lot of crusade to be like, body shame. People are like comfortable being fat. People are comfortable looking dark. People are comfortable having acne also. So that is a totally different stream altogether. And people wanting to be something which they are not, that is also different stream. But there's an in-between path also. One should take the in-between path. But yes, like you said, like earlier there were a lot of struggle. Like, people used to get into depression if they didn't look good. Like people, those are acne. Like can I talk about it?
Yeah.
I had a patient, a young girl, a school-going girl. She had a big patch of hair loss. Big patch, bald patch. शी यूज्ड टू कम टू मी उसके ट्रीटमेंट कराने के लिए, उसको एलोपेशिया एरियाटा बोलते हैं. तो व्हाट शी यूज्ड टू पुल आउट हर हेयर. सो शी वाज टेकिंग माय ट्रीटमेंट. इन द मीनवाइल मैंने देखा कि उसके मुंह में छोटे छोटे पिंपल्स है, बट भरे हुए थे उसके पिंपल्स. देन द पेरेंट्स सेड शी इज वेरी एम्बैरेस्ड, शी डजंट वांट टू गो टू स्कूल, तो बाल नहीं है, फिर भी फेस पे इतना सारा पिंपल्स. सो व्हाट आई डिड इन द प्रोसेस आफ्टर टॉकिंग टू, आई स्टार्टेड ट्रीटिंग हर पिंपल्स. उसका पिंपल्स ठीक हो गया, उसका बाल अब वापस आ गया. So see the amount of emotional, psychological trauma the look on your face can give you. So that is why. So it is a very individual thing. Like, you know, some people are comfortable with what they are and some people aren't. But yes, today's generation, they are becoming more and more comfortable in their skin, more and more what they have. They are looking at a wider, they're looking at life from a wider aspect other than only looks. But there is certain strata, like people those who face the camera, they don't have a choice. They have to do certain things. They have to have a sharper jawline. They have to have a sharper nose, which the profession demands.
Okay.
That is also there.
But then this was very ironical for me because when I was a kid, I used to give no flying hoots about how I look. But right now, when I see kids of my age that time, like probably in their late teens, they are very, very worried about how they look. They are very conscious about how they look. Whereas you are telling me that people have accepted their self up in here now. So,
Yes. Like I told you, there are two categories now. Earlier, there was like what you're saying, but when I started my career, like children used to be brought by parents. Like if isko acne hai, leke aao. But after, means I'm talking of 10 years back, children used to post their parents. मुझे डॉक्टर के पास लेके चलो, मुझे डर्मेटोलॉजिस्ट के पास लेके चलो. But now what is happening? There are two types of people I'm seeing. It's very strange. Strange in the sense it's like a side, both sides of a coin. Like one type of people, same age group, they are very conscious. Even if they're one acne, they'll have an imaginary mark. They want to get it removed. But at the same time, same age group, same strata of people, a different section, they don't want to do anything.
but my point is that see, Botox and everything has become very common these days. So apparently, I think that people are more conscious. This is what I think because I've studied. So I've done my research to talk to you and not sound stupid in front of you. पहले तो बोटॉक्स ये सब बहुत लिमिटेड उसमें होता था, राइट?
Yeah.
अब तो कितना कॉमन हो गया है. तो कहीं ना कहीं मेरे ख्याल से कॉन्शियस बढ़ गए ना लोग, ज्यादा होते हैं.
100% consciousness for aesthetic treatment has grown, I would say, 1,000 times in the last decade or more, like 15 years. So like when I started my practice, say like 28 years back, so I used to do one patient or two patients in a week. But now like we have around 10 patients per day.
That's
So this is how it has grown.
okay.
So people are aware of it, but at the same time, I would say because social media has made all these things very approachable, very available. Education is very open now. You can know a lot of things. So a lot of people have a lot of knowledge about all these things.
Okay.
So they want to try. And people have become aware. Even when I started my practice, men didn't know how to use a sunscreen. I had to tell them you have to take in a hand and then apply. I still do. There was a patient a few days back. He asked me how to apply. I said, apply. I said, but how? Because I have to tell them how to apply. Because people are still still not used to applying things on their face, men especially. So awareness has increased. Our population is vast. Like there were if I would say 1% population was aware of this and were doing all these things. Now there are almost 30, 40 or 50% of the population who wants to do it.
So that brings me an interesting question. Earlier, dermatologists like you, they were filled with female patients more rather than having male patients much.
Yeah.
Is the ratio similar these days as well, or have the male patients increased, or are there more male patients than female patients?
No, this is very interesting. Last week only somebody asked me at one forum the same question. See, 20 years back, the ratio was 20-80. Now it's 20 males and 80 females. Now it is 40 males and 60 females.
Okay. And what do women come from and what do men come for?
More or less the same thing. If you see the skin dermatology, there are two types. One is a clinical dermatology, one is aesthetic dermatology. Clinical dermatology is like, your vitiligo, psoriasis, pemphigus, and all those, atopic dermatitis. There are medical side, and there aesthetic side, which is pigmentation, acne, hair fall,
No.
and aging, anti-aging, and then skin rejuvenation. This is a big thing now, skin rejuvenation. So everybody wants to rejuvenated.
What is that?
Skin rejuvenation is something where your skin, you are preserving your skin and you look youthful.
Okay.
So there are different type of treatments for it. But like to answer your question, men come mostly for hair.
Hair.
That's the biggest concern for men.
Okay.
So mostly they come for hair. And some people, especially people from your industry, they come for aesthetic, like, for Botox, fillers, threads.
What's the difference between this? I was wanting to ask you this for a longest time since we have started the question, but I thought that it would be too like jump diving inside the pool. What is Botox? What is fillers? What is threads? What's the difference between them first?
See, Botox is the name of the brand. It has been so used and so popular. That's why you call it Botox. But it is basically botulinum toxin.
Okay.
It's basically it is anaerobic. It is derived from a bacteria, and it is made from the bacteria. And then what it does is it is given in form of injection.
Okay.
And it is given to inactivate your muscle for a short time.
Okay.
And so your muscle becomes like, for example, you're smiling, you have these crinkles. If I give Botox over here, when I smile, it will be like straight. Or frown lines will not be there.
Okay.
Or this forehead lines will not be there. And Botox, botulinum toxin is also given to reduce your masseter, meaning this, the jawline reshaping can also be done, the Nefertiti line, the platysmal bands. And botulinum toxin also given for hyperhidrosis, meaning sweating from the palms and from the underarms,
Okay.
soles. So this is the role of Botox or botulinum toxin. Like I told you, it is given in the form of injection and inactivates your muscle for a short time, 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
That is one. And filler is something which is made of hyaluronic acid. All of us, every human, plant, animal, everybody have that.
Okay.
Hyaluronic acid. So it is formed either from a bacteria or from a plant source, and it's a jelly-like substance which is injected again in the form of under your skin to fill up. Suppose you have dark circles or deep set eyes, so you fill it up. That it's called tear traffic. Fill it up. You increase the volume of your lip, or you increase the height of your cheeks. Or suppose you have sunken cheek, then you can fill it up with that. Or your temples are sunken, then you can give it over there. So that is to improve the contour of your skin, erase the lines of the skin, and also to give you volume and reshape, like jaw reshaping. You can do with fillers. Okay. And the chin, projection of the chin also you can do with fillers. Okay. So contouring, reshaping, taking care of the wrinkles, improving the texture, and making look soft, youthful, and viper with 10 years of your life.
But then, is this safe?
Yeah, it is safe. See, the product itself is very safe. Filler product is very safe, but it depends on where you're giving it, because we're giving it under the skin and a lot of blood vessels. So if you inject that into the blood vessel, it will embolize. It can go and hit, it can block your brain, arteries in the brain or your eye, or you can have a cardiac arrest also. Okay. So it is very, very, you have to give it very, very carefully. That is why you should do it from a trained person.
Okay. And what if someone has an idea of how they look? They would want to get fillers. उनने करा लिया, but it is not looking as nice as they have thought. तो अब वो lifetime वैसे ही रहेगा?
No. See, one more common side effects of fillers is bruising. An injector, because you're giving injection, no? So okay. Bruising. When you get those red marks and on the face, that goes away after 1 or 2 weeks. So filler is something which lasts for almost a year, 8 to 12 months, but it can be dissolved. Something known as hyaluronidase, which is a enzyme which can dissolve the filler. Suppose you don't like, I've done your under eye, you don't like, so I can always dissolve it. And or you can minimize it if you want it. We can minimize it.
Okay. And how much does this cost? Like these are the fillers and everything.
It is a little costly. It can range anywhere from 20 to 35,000 per injection. That is 1 ml.
Okay, so 20,000 wala sasta hua or 35,000 tak, because that's the same product we are talking about.
Yeah, it depends on the company, depends who is doing it.
Okay. And
it depends on the expertise of a person also.
Also, I have seen in a lot of salons, they have been advertising कि 3,000 से शुरू हो रहा है, 3,500, 4,000 से शुरू हो रहा है. So
there are a lot of See, these are the fillers or the toxins or any injectables which we give, dermatologists we give. It is always by USFDA approved sources. And when you are getting something injected into your skin, you should do it from a trained person and make sure you know what product is being injected into you.
Okay, so if some उसमें भी कुछ होता है कि आपके फिलर्स में ये होना चाहिए, मतलब ये आपका केमिकल कंपोनेंट्स ये सब होने चाहिए?
See, fillers का सबका एक चीज होता है, hyaluronic acid.
Okay.
It depends how it is processed, where it is done.
Okay.
So you can do it somewhere without any what shall I call it? The protocol, without following the protocol, and come up with a cheaper product,
Okay.
which is harmful to you.
Okay.
So the processing, the refinedness of the product, what additives is being added is very, very important.
Okay. So,
And like I'll give you an example. Like recently, when a girl had come, she had done her chemical peel from somebody who did a full body chemical peel in 2,000 rupees or something like that.
okay.
And her face was totally burnt. And so she came back and she told me, she said that, I was a little worried that तो 2,000 में वो फुल बॉडी का कर लेते हैं, 2,000 में फेस का तो नहीं होता है. अच्छा, हाउ डिड यू अग्री? ने मुझे लगा कि चलो शायद ये नए हैं, स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, कम पैसे में कर देती हूँ. बट व्हेन शी केम टू मी, व्हेन आई टोल्ड हर हाउ दैट बर्न स्किन हैज टू बी ट्रीटेड, शी वांटेड टू चेक माय मशीन, whether I'm using the right machine or not. So it is quite frustrating,
It's scary. Scary.
You, when you do it from somewhere but it's cheaper, you don't ask what is the origin of your product. But you're coming to a person who is sitting here for almost 30 years with all education background and all that. You are asking me for the machine which I'm going to treat.
होता है ना, दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक
Yeah.
फूक पे पी रहा है.
So that is the thing. So I feel as dermatologist or as in this field, we have a big responsibility. And I'm thankful to you that you brought up with this. You're doing people a lot of favor because there's a lot of misconception.
So अभी ना मुझे, क्योंकि फिलर ना काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है मेरे लिए, बिकॉज आप ना इतना पढ़ते रहते हो कि उस एक्टर्स ने ये करा लिया, उस एक्टर ने ऐसा करा लिया. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, एक कोई आपके पास नॉर्मल बंदा आता है, बंदी एक ह्यूमन आता है, लेट्स नॉट बी जेंडर बायस्ड. तो सबसे कॉमन एरिया कौन सा है जहाँ पे वो फिलर्स यूज करते हैं?
मोस्ट कॉमन एरिया इज अंडर आई, टीयर ट्रफ जिसको बोलते हैं, लिप्स,
Okay.
और ये चीक, हाई चीक बोन. सो इधर आप फिलर डालते हो ना, तो फिर नॉर्मल ऑटोमेटिकली चीक बिकम्स यू गेट अ स्नैच्ड लुक. आपका नेजोलेबल फोल्ड, ये जो फोल्ड है ये ऊपर हो जाता है, एंड इट गिव्स अ यूथफुल लुक एंड अ शार्पर लुक. सो दीज आर द 3 मेन कंसर्न्स. एंड ऑफ कोर्स मिड चीक, ये जो है. देन कम्स अ चिन, देन कम्स अ जॉ लाइन, देन कम्स अ टेम्पल.
सो अगर कोई, तो नॉर्मल स्पेंडिंग क्या होगी एक ह्यूमन की अगर कोई आया है तो, ऑन एन एवरेज?
You'll be surprised. People, those who can't afford to eat well, they can spend 50,000 to 1 lakh of rupee on the skin.
So if I were to get fillers from you or from any dermatologist for that matter, मुझे 1 लाख रुपए I need to spend.
Not necessary. See, like I told you, एक syringe, somebody charges 20, somebody charges 25, some 30, 35 per syringe. It depends how many you need. In India, people do 2 to 3. Sometimes, suppose you do the lip, it's only one filler. So it can range 120 to 35,000. If you are doing under eyes, it will be one filler, half, 0.5 ml, 0.5 ml. Depends on your requirement.
But then this is what you are telling me is after you have aged significantly and you want that youthful look. But apparently a lot of young people are also doing it these days.
No, I'm not talking of aged people. I'm talking of normally.
Okay.
See, filler can be done by a 15-year-old.
Okay.
They come for lip augmentation. They come for under eye.
Is it allowed to?
It's not. I don't do it. Unless you're an adult, I don't do.
Okay.
Like, am I allowed to tell anecdotes?
Yeah, please.
So there was this girl, she was 17-year-old. So she came to me for filler.
Okay.
So I said, no, I'll not do. And she didn't need it. So I said, I'll not do. Is your mother or father with? No. Why? I'm 17-year-old. I said, no, you should take the permission of your father or mother. So she called up her father. Her father said, she's making my life miserable. She's not eating at home. She's crying. She's throwing a fit. She wants to do a filler. Doctor, आप normal saline डाल दो उसमें. I said, no, you counsel a child. I will not do filler. Your child needs counseling. So then she went away. Then after some time, after a year, she came back to me. So there's a lot of noise at the reception. Same girl. So she said, now I've turned 18. You better do my filler. And this girl with her, she had come with a friend of hers. Both of them, they fought with me. So then I asked the father, she was already 18. She said, now I'm 18. Why can't you do? So I did one filler. I thought she needs only one filler. I did one filler for her. It was very good. I had done a very nice job. She wanted a second filler, which was again against my medical ethics and against all aesthetic. When it wouldn't look good on her, it will look bigger. Her lips will look bigger. So I will not do that job. I want to do something which is looks subtle, it looks natural, it looks pretty, not overdone. So I said, I will not do. Then she went back. She fought with her father. And then the father called me up, said, please do it. I said, I will not do. You can take your daughter somewhere else. So these things also do happen. But then sometimes what happens, sometimes we are also pressurized to do more than what is required. But we are responsible to stopping and to tell the patient, no, I will do only this much, not beyond that. Only when you do more than, see, if you are 60, you cannot look 30. You can look 50 or 45.
Okay. Fair.
So that is what is happening. People want to look a teenager when they're in their 50s. That cannot happen. And when you're doing that kind of job, obviously your face gets distorted. Or you are putting too much of fillers. When you put too much, there's the thing about aging gracefully or aging with all these external things. So it depends. It's your choice what you want to do.
और threads बचाओ अपना. What is
Threads.
threads?
Threads is actually a product which is it is a dry type of material. It comes in a form of thread. It is either PCL, PLL or PDO. These are the chemical components. So it comes like a thread and it is embedded in a needle. So the needle has the thread. So what we do, we put it under the skin and remove the needle. So the thread remains on your skin, under your skin.
Okay.
So what happens is two things happens. One is you get a mechanical. So because you put the thread, so obviously immediately you'll get a lift.
Okay.
And then what happens, आपका जो collagen, natural collagen है, आपका body का healing process, it forms collagen.
Yeah.
So it forms around that thread. So when the thread dissolves and all, so that will be a second delayed reaction, which will be your natural collagen will form. So if suppose you want to lift your jawline like this or you want to lift like this, so you put threads over there or neck.
So is that common, that procedure?
It is becoming common. See, like botulinum toxin is the most commonest aesthetic treatment in injectables. Then comes filler, then threads. But it's become very popular now in the last decade or so. It's become very popular.
So what's the most, like the cheapest one of all is Botox?
Yeah.
And the most expensive is?
Threads.
Threads.
Threads are done in little mature skin. But threads are also done in acne scars or suppose you've got open pores. Or you want a little rejuvenation of the skin, your skin is looking dull, and so you can put, they are known as monofilament or PDO threads. Then you can put it on the skin, under the skin.
Okay, so that would create collagen up in there.
Yeah, that will not give you a lift.
Okay.
It will just like, for example, neck or the hands or the décolletage. You can use the threads to rejuvenate the skin.
Okay, so if someone who is in their teens or early 20s, what should they do to delay their aging? What kind of skincare routine they should have?
Yeah, my favorite topic, because I love to teach people to take prevention is better than cure. I totally believe in it. The most important thing is you should have a holistic approach to your life. One is your food, what you're eating, sleep, hydration, water, protection from the sun, and your vitamins, and your skincare. These are the 6 things you have to do. Skincare meaning you have to use a good cleanser, good moisturizer, and a sunscreen. That's enough. So these are the things you do. You sleep well, you do some form of exercise, you eat well, do a little bit of exercise. So that is going to sort your skin to a lot extent.
So what kind of cleanser someone should use? A chemical component of the cleanser?
The cleanser, I would prefer that they use a non-soapy cleanser.
Okay.
Which is a hydrating type of cleanser, gel-based cleanser they can use, which is the pH balance, which is 5.6 or so. So that is, it will just be enough for them. Unless you have a very oily skin, then you need a more alkaline cleanser.
Okay. And moisturizer?
Moisturizer, yeah. Like we were talking about skin types. So depending on your skin type, if you have a combination skin, then you can take a light to moderately light moisturizer. If you have a dry skin, then you should take a thicker. See, moisturizer are 2 types again. One is a water in oil. See, there is oil and what oily part of the moisturizer and water. So if your skin is oily, then you have to take a product which has more water and less oil.
Okay.
And if you have a combination skin, then it can be equal. And if you have a dry skin, then the oil content will be more and the water content will be less. So that way. So it will be in the lotion form. It will be like a water base. Water base will be for acne prone skin, oily skin. Lotion form will be for, I'm telling generally.
Yeah.
Lotion form will be for a combination skin or a normal skin. And a cream form will be for a person who has a dry skin or a mature skin.
And we were talking about hair loss because that is very common in men, right? What can they do to prevent the hair loss?
Hair loss can be two types. One is diffuse alopecia, which is you're getting hair loss because of various other components like your diet, your sleep, your smoking, alcohol, environmental pollution, or you're using some products which not suiting you, or you're taking some medicines which you're reacting to. So this is known as diffuse alopecia, where you lose hair from all over. It can happen with male and female. But the biggest type of hair fall which men have is male pattern alopecia.
Yeah.
Which is genetically designed. Yeah, MPA, it's called, male pattern alopecia. That is the one which most men are afraid of and most men are affected by. So that is something which your genes are designed to lose hair. So, but then if you understand it from very early, that if suppose your father, grandfather, your uncle, they have that thing, then you can take care of it you can delay it. You cannot prevent it totally, but you can delay it. So start taking care of your hair like that. Use the right type of shampoo and conditioner. These days you get shampoo and conditioner which retains the hair. Like, it can be used on a daily basis. And again, like I told you, lead a holistic life, have enough protein, have fiber, have nutrients. What happens with the typical Indian meal? We don't get the micronutrients which is required for the hair.
Okay.
Like, how many of us are eating seeds? How many of us are eating fruits? If I talk to a person who is just walking past in the street, he can't even afford. In India, most people can't afford fruits and salads and all. Some people don't have the habit of eating salads. So like your diet should contain fruits and salads. That gives you a natural antioxidant. So it's sorted. Then you should have some legumes. Then that gives you proteins. Then there's some micronutrients. Then your green leafy vegetables, you get your zinc, biotin, and water soluble vitamins. All these things you get from your leafy vegetable salads and fruits.
But then जैसे बचपन में मम्मी ऑयल लेती थी और बालों पे लगा देती थी बोल के कि क्वालिटी अच्छी होगी, बाल अच्छे होंगे. So does that help?
See, the oil massage, what happens is it stimulates your blood vessels.
Okay.
When you do oil massage, it's when each hair follicle has a tiny dot of papilla, which has little very small blood vessels, which supplies to the hair. So when you are massaging, you're basically stimulating your hair follicles. So in a way, your blood circulation is increasing.
So बिना ऑयल के भी मसाज कर सकते हैं फिर?
कर सकते हो आप.
Okay.
But then you'll call friction on the hair, no? Cause friction. But oil में क्या होता है? Oil is the natural conditioner. When you olden days, people used oil to condition their hair. So oil is a natural conditioner. So if you apply oil and wash your hair remains nice.
But I've heard from a few people around me who have been advised by their dermatologist
not to use oil.
Not to use oil.
Yeah. See, the oil, what happens is if you apply oil in India, especially Bombay, is a very tropical weather. And there's a lot of sweating. There is a lot of humidity in Bombay's weather. So what happens is if you have oil, you're sweating, then there is a lot of grime and all that. So the cleansing, the scalp, the normal pathology of the scalp, it gets disturbed.
Okay.
So because of the oil, the dirt, the grime, the sweat, what happens is then you form a nice platform for bacteria to grow. That is why certain conditions you're not supposed to apply oil. But if you apply oil in the night and wash it up the next day, it's good.
Okay, and any specific oil that you recommend कि ये लगाओ, मतलब नारियल लगाओ, mustard लगाओ, सरसों का?
Mustard थोड़ा सा ये हो जाता है. It becomes difficult to wash it off. But in East, where I come from, most people apply mustard oil.
Okay.
So, but then any oil is good enough. And they say that additives, like certain additives which is there in the oil, doesn't have so much effect. It doesn't enter into a scalp. Because if you have oily base, nothing will enter into your scalp. But it is a good conditioner and it helps you to massage your scalp and stimulate the blood vessel.
But doesn't that create acne? Because eventually it will...
It does. People, those who have acne prone skin, I don't tell them to apply the oil night before. They can apply 1 hour before they take the shower. And otherwise... it's okay. Don't use so much oil that drips on your forehead and face.
Like speaking of acne, what is the basic cause of it?
Cause of acne is hormonal, A. 2 is stress. Stress leads to hormonal changes. 3 is what happened. There is a small duct which is Acne, how is acne formed? It's formed by the inflammation of the gland, which is known as sebaceous gland,
Okay.
which is attached to hair follicle. So the tiny stalk which is attached, which connects the hair follicle to the gland, the sebaceous gland. So that gland, stalk, that stem through which the oil comes out and goes through the hair follicle and comes to the skin, that gets blocked.
Okay.
So that could be blocked because of unhealthy habits, or sometimes, it is, some people have more cell formation around that stalk. So it gets clogged.
Okay.
So that is another. So then when it gets blocked, that opening of the gland, so obviously the material inside the gland, it will keep on increasing and becomes big, and that forms acne. And then there is a bacteria known as Propionibacterium acnes, which is a normal commensal of the scalp. It is there in the scalp. Because you must be knowing that we have certain bacteria in different parts of our body to protect us.
Yes.
So that bacteria, it over multiplies, and then you get the infection, and that is how acne happens.
So how do we fix them up?
One is, if you have, first is cleansing,
Okay.
proper cleansing, so that maintenance of your skin by using the proper kind of products. Like if you have got acne, you have to use anti-acne cleanser, anti-acne creams. And if if it's infected, then you have to take antibiotic. And if it is too bad, like in hormonal case, you must have seen people who have big acne all over the face. So that is usually hormonal.
Okay.
So then you have to take care of the hormones.
Okay.
Then you have to send them to either gynecologist or to endocrinologist if it's a guy. So you have to sort the hormone level also. There's another type of acne which is known as adult onset acne. These days you must be seeing a lot of adults getting acne.
A lot.
That could be because of stress. Stress is again hormonal, so the hormone goes haywire. And B is use of cosmetics. The last few years meaning 1.5 decade, we've seen that ladies of the age group of 35 or so who use a lot of makeup, they burst into acne.
Is that preventable if they use makeup frequently? Is that
Yes.
what they can do?
Yeah, they have to take care of. Probably they have to change the brand of makeup or type of makeup they're using. Probably the makeup they're using is not suiting them.
Okay.
Like there's something, a terminology known as pomade acne. Pomade acne is acne on the forehead.
Okay.
Usually it's seen in Latin American people because they use a lot of hair oil, because they have curly hair, no? So use a lot of oil to keep it under control. So they get acne on the forehead.
Okay.
So sometimes we get it in India also, those who use hair oil every day. Some people, they use hair oil every day just as a habit to keep their hair in control. So they might have acne on the forehead.
One thing that strikes me is menopause. There's perimenopausal, premenopausal. That is a time where your hormones change. Like there's a whole lot of hormonal change. So that also affects the skin, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So what can people do to...
See, this is a very, very interesting question and very close to my heart. Because in fact, for the last couple of years, we have been going through a drive of causing awareness. Because in India, we don't have this awareness of what is perimenopause. We don't know. We don't handle menopause also.
Yeah.
We just, have you heard of your mother complaining of menopause? No. But these days, if young, like in the 40s, if she must be menopausing. There's a common thing people say, suppose a teacher is shouting in college, students think he must be menopausing. So this is the awareness. But what is happening to the woman? Has anybody thought? See, there is something known as perimenopause. 5 years before menopause, your whole life goes into a turmoil. There is skin changes, mood changes, hormonal changes, body changes. You are feeling there might be weakness, you might be feeling your muscle might be giving way, your bones will be hurting. There'll be different type of joint pains. Skin doesn't look as good as it used to because your estrogen level is coming down. So the natural glow of the skin is not there. Your hair is also looking dry and dull. And then mood changes because of the hormones it's happening inside. So your mood is also changing. So you become irritable. You are not happy. You don't want to go out. You don't want to hang around with your friends. You like certain type of food. You don't like certain type of food. So people don't understand. So that is why it's very, very important to teach. Because see, the woman is the homemaker. She's the central point of the family. Mm-hmm. So the husband, the children, they have to understand her. And, treat her accordingly. So that is the drive we are going through. Like, it's a gynecologist, there's an orthopedic doctor, there's a nutritionist, there's a physiotherapist, there's an endocrinologist, and a psychologist. We are all together come up, and we have formed a menopause clinic at Nanavati Hospital, in fact.
What's the average age when women hit menopause?
See, average age, if you said it, around 40.
Around.
But sometimes at the age of 35 also it's happening. Because see, these days menarche, meaning girls are getting periods at the age of 7. That is how the whole spectrum has changed. Boys are getting male pattern alopecia at the age of 18, which they used to get at 35. So this is how evolution is affecting us humans.
So what do people do? Like how women battle their skin during the menopause?
See, the skin is like if you have acne, acne is also another cause of menopause. I mean, you can get acne, like, especially on this area, you can get acne, facial hair. So, like, if you have this smaller concerns, like we are there, as dermatologists, we can tackle it. But if there's a major hormonal issue, then they have to go to a gynecologist or an endocrinologist. And so together we can sit and we can decide for them. But then first thing is they should understand that they're going through that perimenopause.
Okay.
So that is why it's very important that we talk about this topic and what is happening. So very good that you brought up this issue.
Okay, so right now you told me that a woman who's probably dealing with menopause comes to you, so you can figure out whether you need to refer her to a gynecologist. Now my point is that how do you see, what do you see in her that you realize that I need to refer her to a gynecologist here?
See, seeing whatever she looks like or the skin changes, I'll take care of. But I have to take a history, menstrual history, what is happening, like whether the periods have stopped or she's getting difficult periods or she's getting cramps or she's not bleeding at all. So if suppose this is in that's like for 3 months successively, if she has such similar problems and it is bothering her, then she has to meet a gynecologist.
Okay. Now I want to ask you about you up in here. Okay, how is your life as a doctor? Have you seen some bizarre cases, like crazy cases, not bizarre as an extreme, but crazy cases that you do not even need to be consulted on this, but you're still coming and taking out time for such nonsensical things?
See, in fact, every day I see some strange case or the other because the field is such. Because people come with some pre-notion, मुझे ये बनना है, इससे दिखना है. There might be something else, like, for example, a person who is not very fair might be wanting to look 10 shades fairer than herself.
Okay.
So this is the expectation. Or they want to look somebody who has a different bone structure, they want to look like some film actress. Like one bizarre case I had, it was a girl, TV actress, वो मेरे पास आई and then lip filler कराया and I thought I did a very good job. I took a lot of time and it was looking very beautiful. So then she told me, it came the next day, बोले कि डॉक्टर और थोड़ा चाहिए. I said, no, if you put more, it look unnatural. It look natural. It look as if you've done filler. So that's not the purpose. नहीं मुझे चाहिए. I said, I will not do. So मैंने उसको भगा दिया. After 1 week, मेरा रिसेप्शनिस्ट she came running to me. She said, डॉक्टर आप इसको ना पहले देख लो. मुझे लगता है उसको किसी को ना उसको कुछ एलर्जी हो गया है. उसको कोई काट दिया है, बी काट दिया है शायद. I saw the same girl. She's gone and done 2 more fillers on her face, and they were looking like 2 pieces of sausages. But she was happy with it. She just came to tell me that, look, you didn't do, but I got it done from somewhere else. So those kind of people are also there. People, of course, I'm not saying, thankfully, 95% of my patients are happy with my work. But there's always that 5% who are not happy and then they come with such.
So if the treatment has gone wrong, it is mostly because of the patients, because they wanted more. Most
See,
of the
it's a two-way thing. We are also responsible for it. Suppose the patient is asking more, I should know where to stop.
Yeah.
But then if I do more, I get more money. So my conscience also, like, and I know that if I don't do, she'll go somewhere else. Our field is very competitive. So, like, I don't blame if suppose like new dermatologists, if they're doing more, I don't blame them because they have a lot of competition. And if the patient is wanting, what they say is, if we don't do it, they'll go somewhere else, which is sure enough. But you have to have your own standard. Like in my case, if a patient is walking out of my clinic, nobody can make out that they're done fillers or Botox or whatever, or toxins. They look natural.
Okay.
So it's like a two-way thing. What the patient wants, you should advise the patient. Suppose the patient wants 5 filler and you think with 3 fillers उसको अच्छा हो जाएगा, तो 3 filler ही दो ना. Patient का पैसा बच रहा है and patient is looking more natural. That is my duty as a doctor. But the patient might want more. If I don't do, might go somewhere else. So again, it is my judgment whether I want to retain the patient and giving her more, making her look more done up, or losing the patient. So it is like a double-edged sword.
You just mentioned toxins. What is it?
Botox is a name, no? Like we have Botox, we have there are other names also, but Botox has become like Xerox. Xerox.
Exactly. So, of late, people have been smoking a lot. It has been become a very cool factor. It has been since ever, to be honest, with men. Now it has been catching up with everyone that people smoke to look cool. I have heard that it affects on how you age. It fastens your aging process. Is it true?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. When patient come to me, I take the history. And if they say they're smoking and they're drinking, I said, first you stop your smoking. Because smoking has a detrimental effect not only on your skin, but all your systems.
Yeah.
It is it is not only carcinogenic, it ruins your cardiac health, it ruins your lung health, it ruins your skin, and you age so fast. I'll give you an example. There was a very top actor from Bollywood who used to come to me. I told him once to quit smoking. He said, why? What is? I said, you look old on screen. So he stopped coming to me. And youngsters you see these days, if you see a typical youngster walking by or standing outside the office or college, they smoke, they eat junk food. There's no glow, there's no charm of youth on them. Why? Because A, smoking, B, lifestyle. Lifestyle in the sense that sleeping habits are bizarre. Eating, the middle of the night they order food. Or Swiggy, Zomato, they're busy in the night, all catering to these youngsters. Sleep, no proper exercise, no proper square meal of the day, nothing. That's why they look dull, lackluster. Hair is also, there's no shine on the hair. Then they have acne. And obviously, they will age faster.
So, your field has advanced so much now. But then if I smoke, I'm probably addicted to it, right? I cannot quit it. Do you have some treatments for that? That, okay, fine, you keep smoking, we'll do this, and now you'll look like you do not smoke or like you'll look better.
See, I can make you look better.
Okay.
But can I help you with your cardiac, your other systems? No.
That
Internally, your genes are also being affected.
okay.
So it will be an ongoing process. How much of externally we can do? A lot of things. But the thing is, you have to take care of your health.
Well, the top actors of the industry, they are like they smoke very frequently, but they still look young on screen. So they must be
See, to
going
a certain
something
extent, they look young. They take a lot of help also. And
help as in?
help in the sense like cosmetic treatments or products, a lot of things which can, but to a certain extent, beyond that, you cannot help them.
So they've covered injectables. So what are the other treatments for skin?
See, besides injectable is of course a high-end treatment.
Right.
We have treatment for acne. We have like treatment like, collagen extraction, peels. Then the lasers also to take care of acne scars. And people have pigmentation following acne, young kids. So we give them peels and other treatments. And then for general well-being of the skin, we have microdermabrasion, hydrofacial. Then we have lasers like Q-switch, Nd:YAG laser. Then we have skin tightening treatments also like HIFU, then Exelase, which is a combination of radiofrequency and ultrasound. Then we have microneedling. So all these things, they tighten the skin, they take care of the fine wrinkles, scars, and also they give a nice rejuvenating effect to the skin. And various types of peels are there. Various type of peels, which can cater to anything. Like acne ho gaya, pigmentation ho gaya, anti-aging ho gaya. Even peels are there for knuckles, elbows, knees, underarms, bikini area, back. Back पे भी acne होता है ना, तो उनको भी those patients can also be treated do a microdermabrasion and then a peel.
So these treatments are very common. Like, do laymen know about that?
Yeah, these are very common treatment and more affordable. Like peel is something which anybody can do. And there is something known as InstaGlow. We give a treatment, deep cleansing with a microdermabrasion, with a mild peel, which gives a nice glow to the skin. And then people are very happy with it. It's a common bread and butter of our clinic.
Okay, and what is microneedling you just spoke?
Microneedling is that tiny needles, in a handle and piece, and we press it to the skin and pass radio frequency current so that it tightens the collagen. It stimulates the collagen.
Okay.
And also, if you have scars, it helps with the scars. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles.
Because I've seen it on Instagram somewhere. Someone had a roller which had like micro needles on it, and they were using it on their face, preaching that it is what it is really the thing that you need for your skin. because that apparently opens up the pores and unclogs the pores, and when you apply any product, it absorbs very beneficially. But then on the other hand, when I was reading the comments, perhaps people were woke up in there, they were talking about how it can be dangerous as well if you're doing it on your own. You can hurt yourself because those skins, they can prick really bad. Those needles can
Yeah.
prick really bad. So do people do this at their home or at other places as well?
See,
Commonly?
it is quite common because of this social media information. A lot of people do it. It is true that when you do microneedling and do any product, like you can use exosomes or PDRN, these are the high-end treatment which are doing these days, which are known as regenerative. We had mentioned it. I had mentioned it earlier, so we can talk about it also a little bit. So when you do microneedling, for example, when you're doing microneedling either with a handheld or a derma pen or with using a microneedling device, we make microchannels on the skin, but this is controlled. You are doing in a controlled environment.
Okay.
You have taken all aseptic measures. स्किन को कैसे क्लीन करना होता है, कैसे मेंटेन करना होता है, कैसे होना चाहिए कि you get equally the needles are distributed, needle marks are distributed. So microchannel form करके then we use an active ingredient so that it gets absorbed into the skin and it works better. What you said is correct, but when you're doing on your own, how are you taking care of your sanitization and whether the pressure is correct or not, and what are the ingredients you're using, and what is are you taking aftercare? So there's so many factors involved. So it is not correct always to use it at home, but some people use the roller on the scalp once a week or so. That is very common. Or using some hair regrowth product.
Okay.
So
Are you talking about something else as well? You said that we can talk about.
regenerative medicine. Regenerative medicine these days you must have heard the exosomes and PDRN.
Yes.
So and skin boosters.
Skin boosters.
So there are a lot of things which are available in the injectable form. And so what you do is you apply it, and also GFC. GFC is like you take your own blood and you remove the growth factors and inject it either into your scalp or into your face to get a nice rejuvenation of the face, or for the scalp, it's a regrowth of hair. So there are small injections we give with very tiny needles all over the face. So to have a more even, youthful look rather than having like a specific look which you get using a filler or a thread. But this you can use all over your face, your neck, your hands, décolletage. It is used on the scalp also for regrowth of the hair. So this is becoming very popular these days.
So what was that you take out your own blood and then you inject?
You take your blood and then it is a process. Then you take out the growth factors.
Okay.
And then you take it out. It becomes a clear serum.
Okay.
And then you inject those into your skin or your hair.
Okay, so it will help you give that youthful look.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
probably
it also helps with pigmentation and fine lines, wrinkles.
so that is why vampires are always so youthful.
It's called vampire facial also.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And we have devices also for the face for tightening. I think I mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
So that is also
How do
used for rejuvenation of the skin.
they work?
They work in again tightening. They work on the collagen. Basically, you're tightening your skin.
Okay.
So that is how it works.
And what are the treatments for the hair?
So for the hair, like I told you, you can do this GFC, which is like, you inject it, take your blood and inject. That is one. Then we can do exosomes. This is the latest thing. Hair boosters, like, they are peptides, which is again injected into the scalp. So these are the things. And then we do that laser light, low laser light therapy,
Okay.
LLT.
So we were talking about MPA. So you told us that if taken proper precautions, we can delay it, but we can never avoid it. So till now, there are no treatments that can completely avoid it.
We can't avoid it. Eventually, you'll get diaper balding. So you can delay it, like taking medicines, taking applications, doing the treatments. You can delay it. And the day you stop it, after 3 months or 6 months, again, hair will start falling. Of course, the last resort is hair transplant.
Okay.
So, but the process, you cannot stop the process of male pattern alopecia.
So hair transplant, does that fall under your scope of treatments?
We used to do hair transplant. A lot of dermatologists also do.
Okay.
I have an OT where we do the hair transplant. In fact, we were one of the pioneers to do hair transplant in India. But now it takes a lot of time.
What is the process then?
So you take out hair from your scalp,
Okay.
live hair, and then you make tiny holes where you have lost your hair and then put the hair into it. It's like grafting.
Till now, we have talked about treatments which could be done, injectable treatments basically. I would want to talk about some knife treatments now. Surgeries होता है, body sculpting हो गया, you go through other cosmetic surgeries. What are those, and are those just, एक तो हो गया कि चलो आपको केस ही ऐसा है कि you were burnt और आपको required है वो, एक होता है कि नहीं मुझे सिर्फ अच्छा दिखने के लिए करना है, aesthetic purposes के लिए. So do you support that, and also ऐसे cases क्यों आते हैं?
See, there are certain conditions like nose. Suppose you have a very bad nose and you want to go for a surgery. Why
What's
not?
a bad nose?
Like you don't have a bridge, or suppose you are very broad over here. Aesthetically, it doesn't look good.
Okay.
And sometimes you have a deviated nasal septum also. That gives you snoring, that gives you the recurrent upper respiratory tract infection. So that is a condition where you can go. So this is the most common things which in aesthetics we do, or we refer, or people ask for. Ek to nose job. One is the eye bags. Eye bags, people those eye bag, hooded eyes.
Okay.
That is one. And some people go for facelift also.
Okay.
But facelift these days with threads, fillers, and all these things, and machines. We have good machines also. We can talk about it later, which tightens your skin. So the facelift surgically has become very less these days. Even plastic surgeons are also doing threads and botox, fillers, and botulinum toxin. And another surgical thing which one does is abdominoplasty.
What is
So
that?
if you lose a lot of weight, then there's hanging skin on the abdomen.
Loose skin, yeah.
Or if you've had a twin pregnancy, then a lot of redundant skin on the abdomen.
Okay.
So what you do, you can't do anything much about it. So what you do is the extra skin, what the surgeons do, they cut it off and they stitch up. So that is known as abdominoplasty. That is also a common thing.
Is that safe?
Liposuction. See, any surgery which is done under general anesthesia, you are giving general anesthesia. So whatever the side effects of general anesthesia. So
You're talking about liposuction.
liposuction is another one which surgically remove fat from various parts of the body. Implant, breast implant, butt implant. And these days we have fillers also, body fillers for the breast, for the buttocks, other areas of the body.
What's the difference between fillers and implants?
Implants are like a jelly. It's like it comes in a packet. So it's like a small jelly sort of thing.
Okay.
So you would make a nick in the skin and slide that jelly thing and stitch it up. So it's like a proper surgery.
Okay.
But body fillers are through an injection. So it's not so invasive.
And can we remove the implants
You
if
can.
you do not like
Yeah,
2%?
you can. But sometimes what happens if it is delayed, then the body forms fibrosis around it. It's very difficult to remove it.
Okay.
It again depends on the type of implant, the type of surgery done and all that.
So has that become common as well?
It was always more common earlier.
Okay.
Earlier it was more common than all these things which I'm talking about. Implants and all, breast implant has been there for quite some years.
And what is body sculpting?
Body sculpting is like these are machines which are EBDs, energy based device, or lasers which you had these days, which it uses the energy like laser rays or radio frequency, ultrasound. They use, and then they EMS. There are different type of rays which is generated from these machines or lasers, and then they shape your body in the sense they reduce the fat from the body, and they also shape up, tightening, body tightening. They have two types of things. One is the fat reduction and also the tightening of the body. So this is becoming very, very common now. In the last 7-8 years, it's become very common.
And how costly is it?
It is a little costly and it has to be repeated. It's not that you do once and then you're done for life.
Okay.
There has to be lifestyle change. You have to control your diet. It's not that you are obese and then you do the treatment and just sit under the machine and you lose all the weight. It is more for people from your field who have little bit of pocket somewhere and then want to shape up and all that. I always tell people it's for the person, the fit to become fitter. So.
But then I have heard a lot of people talking about it as if it is an alternative to going to gym.
No.
An easy alternative to going to gym.
Not really. There is one machine, they say that if you do it for half an hour, it is like doing 200 crunches to 2000 crunches. So, but what about the other parts of your body? It's not that an obese person sits under and then it doesn't happen that way. It has to be a combination of everything. It's not a miracle, but it does give good results for people, those who are doing other methods of maintaining themselves.
So I have read somewhere that some famous person, if I'm not wrong, have removed her ribs to make her waistline smaller, thinner.
Yeah.
First of all, is it true?
It is true, and it is a surgery which is done, not very commonly, but some people those are in the media and the live, they are facing the camera, they have to maintain the body. Some of them have done it. So what happens? We have two ribs, which are known as the floating ribs. The last two ribs, 11th and 12th, they don't have any role in the body because it is not attached to a sternum. So it is, but some people remove it. It is surgical procedure, and you have to go through the knife. And it has all the side effects of a general surgery, like going through the anesthesia and all that. But yeah,
इसका और कोई सिर्फ एस्थेटिक यूज के लिए
only
use है?
aesthetic.
और कोई यूज नहीं है इसका,
Kiska?
ये रिब्स निकालने का?
Ribs ka see, it gives a form of support, no doubt, but it doesn't have major role in the body.
So
But it does have a little bit of support is there. If you remove it, then your rib ends over here.
yeah,
So that little support gone. It's not attached over here to the sternum. It's floating.
but then if someone is opting to do this, तो वो सिर्फ एस्थेटिकल पर्पस के लिए कर रहे हैं ना,
Yeah.
बाकी तो कोई और कोई रीजन हो ही नहीं सकता ये
No,
निकालने का.
it is definitely for aesthetic. So that especially women do it. So that what happens is, suppose your waist is like this now, it will become more nipped in and longer waist.
Hourglass kind of, hourglass bit right. I know everything. And
Very well informed, well read.
very well read. I needed to up my research game to talk to such pioneer of the industry. Also, we live in Mumbai. मुंबई के अब तो पूरे इंडिया में हर जगह ऐसा हो रहा है कि देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ पॉल्यूशन. आई कम फ्रॉम अ टियर 2 सिटी भोपाल. वहाँ पे भी बहुत पॉल्यूशन हो गया है. मुंबई में तो कांस्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन चल ही रहा है फॉर एवर एंड एवर. कब से चल रहा है और चलता रहेगा. इज इट हैम्परिंग अ लॉट टूवर्ड्स आवर स्किन, या फिर अपन के एवोल्यूशन उसे पकड़ लिया है कि यार इतना पॉल्यूशन तो है, तो अब स्किन की क्वालिटी ऐसी कर देते हैं कि वो उससे वो हो जाए, मतलब उसको फर्क ना पड़े उस पॉल्यूशन से.
No, you're absolutely right. Environment is one of the biggest culprit for skin damage to the skin. And आप नहीं मानोगे, like when a person comes to me and she said, suddenly my skin is not looking good, I'm getting pimples, I'm losing hair, it doesn't look the same like before. Then I ask them one question, are you not from Bombay? They'll say, no, I've come from a different. So people those who come to Bombay, this is the welcome they get. A bad skin, and in the beginning, then
Yeah,
once they take care of it, then body gets used to it. But what happens with pollution में आपका clogs, pores clog हो जाता है. Then your skin becomes bad. Your hair quality also becomes bad. Your respiratory system also takes a toll.
Okay.
And because of commute, because of Bombay is a very high-paced city, so you are always on your toes to be in a certain place. So your eating habits also goes for a toss. Your sleep pattern also. You're always stressed out. So skin takes a lot of toll. So you have to know where to draw your line, and you have to have a regime to maintain your skin and hair. So that is a must.
मतलब लोग तो आजकल वो ग्लास स्किन के पीछे भाग रहे हैं, तो इतने पॉल्यूशन में वो ग्लास स्किन अचीव करना पॉसिबल है?
It is not possible. One misconception which everybody has: Korean glass skin. Do we have the Korean genes? We don't. How can we look like a Japanese or a Korean when we have Indian skin? No matter what we do, we cannot look like them. The genes are different. And then our lifestyle is different, our food habit is different. And what is happening is all these young girls, college-going girls or office-going girls, they buy a lot of these expensive products. And they come with a lot of reactions also. See, everything. I'm not saying that all products are bad. But even the best, most premium product also may not suit your skin.
Exactly.
Even something which I'm giving to 10 people, which I am giving, which is dermatologically tested, might suit 8 people, may not suit 2 people. So one has to use their brain. That this Korean glass skin, and I have nothing against having a good skin. Good, nice, glowing skin, which looks healthy, which looks attractive. You should aim for it. We are there for it. But don't try to look like a different nationality altogether. That is not possible.
Is it achievable though?
It is achievable. At a certain cost, it is. Yeah. It depends how much you want to do.
But then those expensive products, do they do something, or is it just like they're taking money out of?
No. Certain products, what happens is certain products are good. Their products are, there are a lot of engineering gone into the products. Some of the products are really good. But again, I'm telling you from where you're buying it. What is the source? कोरिया में इधर उधर भी कोई बेच देता है products, but then the high-end products. So those products are definitely they have done a lot of research on it, a lot of good ingredients used in it. So they are good.
What ingredient basically gives you that glass finish skin?
So there's so many factors in it.
Okay.
Like, they use a lot of rice water in their
Yeah.
products. That is something which is supposed to be good. Collagen, retinol,
Okay.
all this. Then you have some plant extract like arbutin, kojic acid, vitamin C, E, all these things in right proportion.
तो राइस वाटर तो ऐसे घर पे भी निकाल सकते हैं.
People used to apply rice water.
But then will it work, honestly?
See, rice water has a lot of starch in it.
Yeah.
So that will hydrate your skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will work.
It will see like, curd. People used to use a lot of curd. Curd has lactic acid. What does lactic acid do? It does exfoliation and also removes pigmentation.
Okay.
And like tomato. Tomato contains lycopene. Like I have told so many people after their tan to apply tomato and keep it for 15 minutes. The pulp of the tomato, keep it for 15 minutes and wash it up. It does cause a lot of detanning effect.
और घर के नुस्खे बताओ ऐसे मुझे. एक अपना राइस वाटर हो गया. If we put up rice water on the skin, it may help.
Turmeric. Turmeric, if you are using fresh turmeric, that's also it has anti-inflammatory, antibacterial properties.
How do you use it?
Aloe vera. You use it as a mask.
Okay.
Take a little bit of turmeric and with the curd, like lactic acid, I told you, that has a hydrating effect and also it has a mild peeling effect. So we use lactic acid peels in our clinics. So this is a pure form of it. Like people apply overripe banana also, that hydrates the skin. So that also has an enzyme which also softens the skin. Honey is a natural bleach. So young girls who have a lot of hair, I used to tell them to apply honey. Nimbu, lemon juice. Lemon juice also has a depigmenting effect. But then lemon juice is very, very acidic.
Yeah.
So it dries the skin. You can get wrinkles also.
Okay. So everything in moderation. Do we have any more ghar ke nuske for that matter?
Milk is again, milk has milk and milk cream. It can be, people use a lot of it to cleanse their skin.
Okay.
Even Cleopatra was also using to cleanse her skin. So it has hydrating property and also depigmenting properties.
So milk as a cleanser?
As a cleanser, yeah.
Okay. So
but it can't be used on people those have oily skin.
Okay.
So then it gives them acne.
That's crazy. Because I remember when we were kids, we did not have so many of these options. So मम्मी का वही होता था कि आज मुल्तानी मिट्टी लगा लो. मुल्तानी मिट्टी has like faded away from the...
Yeah. No, lot of product. There's a product which is known as the detan mask, which has Fuller's Earth. It's called Fuller's Earth. Lot of the purified multani mitti is used in all your masks these days. For to get in a bottle or a tube, all these creamy masks, they have Fuller's Earth. Multani mitti to some extent. Multani mitti is actually it's hygroscopic. What it does is when you apply it, it extracts all the oil from your skin. So that is why it dries up. It's very good for acne.
Okay. So now it is going to the West again, to be honest. Multani mitti and coming back to it.
Yeah.
So now it is more in trend.
Like turmeric is patented by America. They've given the patency of turmeric to America.
Yoga as well then.
Yeah.
But then now that people are following the Western culture so much, first of all, I have realized that people in the West, they apply makeup because it is their need, because their environmental conditions are so that they need to put on some makeup so that they can look better. Their skins are normally flat in color.
Tone.
Yeah, tone. The tone is very flat. So to give some highlights and depths in the face, they put on makeup, and that is from where India has caught up on कि हम भी makeup use करते हैं. But then as such, Indian skins do not require makeup day to day.
No.
On a daily basis,
No,
right?
actually not. In fact, when we go, I'm sure you know so much, people rave for our skin. They love our skin.
Yeah.
Indian skin they love because we have an even tone and we have a healthy look to our skin. So we don't need makeup per se.
But then, since people use it very often, what are the products that they should be using? And एक होता है ना कि हाँ यहाँ तक बाउंड्री बना लो, इतना यूज कर लो अगर तुम्हें करना है तो, इसके बाद मत जाओ रेगुलर बेसिस पे.
3 things one should use, men or woman, is use a cleanser, use a moisturizer, use a sunscreen, and a night cream. That is your routine. That should be a routine. And for makeup, ladies can use a foundation or a powder, a compact just to mattify if they have oily skin. So that's it. And of course, lipstick and color cosmetics. That is a personal choice. You can either lipstick, eyeliner.
That's
And
good.
yeah,
Personal choice.
and we generally have so much of heat around us. We get a natural glow to our skin, so there is no need of highlighter. But people those are very fair, they can use a little bit of highlighter just to give them that natural glow.
Okay.
So this is all. And of course, if people have pigmentation, they have under eye dark circles, then they need to use a concealer.
So lastly, if I come to you as a patient right now for consultation, what would you recommend me कि यार तेरी skin में पहली बात तो you would rate my skin first of all out of 10. What would you rate my skin?
You're looking perfect, except that there's one small pimple. That's it.
Okay. So
You have a good dermatologist in life, I think.
yeah, blessed.
No, you're blessed with. See, some people have very nice skin. So you don't have to do anything for them. Just give them basic routine to follow.
Okay. So most of the people who come to you have nice skin, or most of the people?
Some of them
Ye-
come with nice skin, or some think that they have a lot of concern. But if I feel they have a nice skin, I don't tamper too much. I only do things which I think is necessary for them. Sometimes people come, I want to do this, I want to do that. So I'll tell you a very interesting thing. One girl had come to me for nose job. She was hellbent on, she was not getting married. She wanted to do a nose job. I did everything for her except the nose job. And recently, like I'm talking of, she had come to me 10 years back. 1 year back, she wrote to me. She sent a picture looking very nice. And she said, Doc, I'm still with my nose. And I'm very happy. And I'm married with 2 kids. I just remembered you. So this is very rewarding. And you have to sometime, like for example, I'll give you another example. We're talking of bizarre cases, no? That girl had come to me with acne. When she was talking to me, I could see that there was a lump on her neck. I told, what is this? So she just waved it away. She said, no, it's been there for quite some time. I wrote my prescription. Then I told her sister was with her. She had come from US. I told her, when are you going back? She said, 1 week. I don't have any time for any skin treatment. I said, don't do any skin treatment. If you don't follow me, it's also fine. But just for my sake, will you just go and get this tested? No, I don't have time. I have only 1. I said, just do it. She got it done. It was found that it was tuberculosis. And she stayed back for 3 months and she's treated. Tuberculosis is treatable. But this is our role as a doctor, as a human being. It is our role to the society. Just because you're coming me for skin, it's not my just to look for you to look good or to earn money. It's not my, that is not very tense. It's a relationship. I tell my patient that it is we hold hands together and know each other's wrinkles. We have to be with them for so many years.
Yeah.
So that is how it should be.
But if I were to come, if I came to you, so you would give me a normal routine?
I will give you a routine.
That's it.
A skincare routine which will be good for your skin. That's it.
Okay. So on that note, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for taking out time. I know how
Pleasure.
busy your schedule is, but thank you.
It was lovely talking to you. I felt as if I was at home.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Most welcome.